Do you need Nicole to say her name, title, organization?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
I was going to sing it, but
Go ahead, sing it.
I am Nicole Purcell, CEO of the Clios. You want me to sing one too?
Yeah.
I'm Nicole Purcell, CEO of the Clios.
I think that's a great intro. Actually, I don't even want to.
I love karaoke.
Yeah. I love it. And now we're rolling, and we're going to include that because that is a great intro. But yes, we're here with you, Nicole, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
IRL.
For the invite. I love it.
Yeah.
I love spending time with you.
Yeah, no, we had a blast last time, and there's so much to talk about here. You're a really cool lady, really cool career journey. So I want to kind of give like our listeners, how did we get here?
Yeah. Well, quickly before the Clios, grew up in a family business, so got to learn everything to be an entrepreneur. Went into business a couple of years before I came to the company with someone in the fashion side. And unfortunately, he was, I call him like a Bernie Madoff character, a sociopath who stole money from the company, from me and my family. But we were doing big fashion shows with big names and everything. So it was a huge lesson to learn, because when you're working with big names and things are moving quickly, you're like, wow, this is amazing. We can build. And then this happens to you. And sometimes I think things really do happen for a reason. It completely humbled me. And for a year, I had to look for a job after running this company. And I found Prometheus Global Media, which had just purchased some brands from Nielsen, which was Adweek, Hollywood Reporter, Billboard, and the Clios. And they were looking for a head of events, actually, and conferences. And that was my background. So I started that way. And then basically falling in love with the Clio brand, the creatives that I got to meet. I was the first executive at a judging retreat. And I just fell in love with it. And no one was paying attention to it in the company. So I was able to maneuver my way, still working on the other brands, but eventually taking that over. So what had happened to me before really humbled me to say, I can, no matter what my level is, I can bring you a cup of coffee. I can do anything. It's totally okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I got there.
What do you think is the biggest, because there's a couple of lessons, right, that could be learned there. It could be about trust, about running business. It could be about, self-confidence. Like, what do you think is like a key lesson you learned there?
I mean, all of those things, to be honest with you. I think doing more research if you're going into something, and learning more about the business and about the person you're going into business with. And I think I was, blinded by the shininess, like, oh, we're working with this one and that one. And I think that it just taught me to say, hey, it doesn't just happen so quickly. Yeah. You really need to work for it. And I try to tell my nieces and nephews and kids today, like, you don't just become a CEO. You have to work at it and go through all these different steps and have people above you that maybe are not the nicest either. Yeah. So there's just so many things there. And even though it was very hard and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah. Wow. We love humility and honesty in the studio. That's great. So you went to the Clios and you've been there for
over 15 years.
Oh my gosh.
Over 15 years.
Wow. And you have turned it into something amazing. So I'm going to try to condense this, like also how did we get here? But so you started out there in events and you were like, this needs some TLC.
When I saw Prometheus Global Media and all those brands, they all needed TLC. Like they all needed love. They were older brands people knew, but they weren't up there anymore. So I was like, this is going to be awesome. And I love doing the events, but for the media side of it, I was working with the publishers and the editors. Very difficult. They wanted their visions. Sometimes they didn't agree on all the same. So it was interesting when I found the Clios, and it was at that time just one event and they were starting the healthcare side of it. Mm-hmm. And going away and speaking to these creatives, I saw the love that they needed. Exactly what you were saying, because no one was asking them questions. They were all telling them what they were. Well, we're an award show and we're Clios. We're going to tell you. I go, no. They're the experts. We're here to help work with them. So I came in asking all the questions and became really close with a lot of the CCOs. And it was all agencies back then before the brands started coming in. Mm-hmm. So I asked when, the company had bought Dick Clark Productions at the time. So I got to see all the big award shows on TV. And that's what I modeled the Clio award shows off of. So if a TV show wanted to come and put us on or streaming, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, so that I was like, okay, I get this now. And when the CEO was like, Nicole, what do you want to do? Pick the brand that you want to work with. And they were thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Billboard, a Hollywood Reporter. And I was like, no, I want the Clios. And he's like, Nicole, it's an event once a year. I go, no, it's a brand.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing he ever did for me was let me go and take it over. And then we started launching all the industries and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think it's so critical to have buy-in from your leadership, like your key stakeholders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely need that, but it's also good when they turn their eyes a different way too. And it was such a big company at the time that we were under. Again, we were a small brand, but we were the one making money and doing interesting things. So I was able to move forward and build stuff. And the CEOs were like, well, she's doing a great job. She's bringing us other industries. So it was a buy-in, but also we're focusing on some other brands, you know, because we know you have it.
Yeah. So now, Clio's, what it is today, it's content and awards. So can you tell us a little bit about those two areas, like what your goal is with content? And then I want to talk about the awards because you guys have really like blown it out of the water.
If it's okay, I'm going to switch it and start with the awards.
Yeah. Let's talk about the awards first.
Because we started with the awards. I remember starting, and again, it was just the main Clios that started in 1959, and then they had started Health. And it was like a 4-person team that was there forever. And I go, what do you guys do the rest of the year? And they're like, what do you mean? We take off. And I'm like, oh, no. We have to be out and about in the industries. But what I found is, and again, being under a bigger company with other brands, Hollywood Reporter owns something called oh my God. I can't think of the award. So sorry. It was an award show for the entertainment industry, marketing and advertising, just for theatrical films. And they owned it for 30 years. And they're like, we need someone to manage it. Nicole, can you manage it? Because we were under the umbrella. I said, well, this fits perfectly under the Clios because you're looking at the marketing and advertising just for film side. So we took it over. We did it. We implemented everything we did for the Clios, and we added television and gaming, and it exploded. And speaking to those people, they would never enter the main Clios because who it was being judged by. They want their peers to judge it and say, this is what's great. This is what's it's Key Art Awards. Sorry, that was the name of it. Just came to me.
Love it.
So after 2 years, we did such a great job. It exploded. Everybody wanted to come to it. The industry, we wound up then taking it over, and they stayed our media partner for a short time. But it clicked something in me that said, hey, they don't want to be judged by the CCOs of the agencies or certain brands. They want their peers. And then that's what took me into, we need to go into sports, into music. We did fashion and beauty for a while, and we just kept growing that. So right now we're at 5 award shows and launching a 6th one next month. And that just, looking at all the work that we're getting and seeing the people and listening to their stories of how they built it. I mean, content just came naturally. Because sitting in a jury room, and I'm not sure if you ever sat in one, and if not, you had to sit behind ours. It blows me away. I'm a creative CEO, but I'm not a creative, doing the work. So hearing what they have to say and the stories behind it blew me away. I'm like, that's content right there. So once it was probably 2018, we said, okay, we have all of these award shows. We have all these amazing people on our juries and winning work. Content. It's time for content. Everybody needs content to tell their stories. And that's when we started it.
So, and then what is your goal with content? Cause it just looks so like natural. It all goes together. So what is your strategy for content?
I mean, there's so many different things. So we have Muse by Clio, which we love. And we're talking about the work and the people all of the time. As you know, we have amazing social media.
Yeah. Our girl, Sammy.
Sammy is amazing. And we're talking about the industry. We're talking about the work. We're talking about the people, everything. And then the goal is to go a step further and go back in front of consumers as well. So be doing, on a streamer, on a network, content about the industry, not an award show, but talking about different industries we're in, the marketing, the advertising, all of that, because we see how people are interested in it. The Super Bowl. Right there, it shows you when we put up who we have our Super Clio winners. So that's another small program, but much smaller than the other ones. We don't take entries, but it's looking at the commercials during the Super Bowl and saying, okay, who is the best commercial out there? What are they doing? You're spending so much money creating it and for the airtime. So we made a Clio the same size of the Lombardi Trophy.
Oh, no way.
And so whoever wins, we have jury members from the industry, and whoever wins, we go give the agency and the brand this huge Clio statue, which everyone's like, I want that statue.
Yes, I love it because it's like people put like blood, sweat, and tears into those ads.
Sweat, and tears. A lot of my friends work on it, and they're telling me they're working through the holidays, and then 3 weeks before the Super Bowl, and I'm like, it's so fun. But that is, to me, even though we say the award shows were the Oscars of the advertising industry, that is for consumer side because that's what they're watching. A lot of people are watching. Maybe for the game, but really also for the commercials and the entertainment factor. So,
100%,
so it's just amazing to see that. So we talk about that. And to me, our growth in front of consumers is very important. Clios used to be on television in the 70s and 80s. We were heavily in Mad Men. We have a whole pop culture reel that we can share with you from every show that talks about advertising or content, writing that talks about the Clios. So we're that one that people used to say your mother knows. We want everyone to know it.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you've done a great job like modernizing the brand. And it also goes. So right now you said you have 5 awards.
Yes.
So it's entertainment.
It's the main Clios. It's entertainment. It's sports. It's health and it's music.
Gotcha. And you said a new one is in the making. What can you tell us about the new one? A
new one is being launched next year called Clio Creators Awards. And it's obviously for content creators and influencers, which nobody is doing today across all platforms. And that's, us being a part of culture, Clio, we're the perfect ones to do that for. So besides honoring them, we're going to have the fans involved and there for the ceremony and getting them involved. I can't say much more because people over here might smack me, but we will be announcing it probably near the end of February with all the details of partnerships, streaming, like all different things. So I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, no, it makes so much sense, right? Like creators are the talent of today. I just can't help but think of Dancing with the Stars and just like the creators like driving the ratings.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what's happening. So you have to move with the times. Even going into the other verticals was kind of moving with the times. Thank God that we started doing that and building our business in a different way.
Yeah. Now, like, I just feel like you've thought of so many things. Like, were you ever like nervous or scared? Like, okay, wow, we're putting a lot into this. Like, for the first time you launch sports and things like that, did you ever have any concerns or fears? Like, how did you get past that and just kind of take the leap and be like, no, we need to be here?
Yeah, I think because like you said before, the leadership allowed me to test things and do things. I think because what I went through before, learning that I failed hardcore, like nothing can be probably as bad as what I went through. If God forbid, and we've had a couple of programs like fashion and beauty that we had to put within Clio because it didn't work out for that industry. Clio Cannabis we had for 3 years, which was great. And the industry loved it. But because it's not federal, legal everywhere, it was a little tough to do it. Right. So I wasn't scared of failing because it would teach me something. And I felt like having the bigger company around us was helpful for that as well. And it's not like we were adding people over people. We were testing it ourselves with the team that we had. And also, as you get older, and I'm turning 50 this year, I am going to try everything. I don't care. And if something happens, it's going to happen and we'll move on. It's going to be totally fine.
I love it. I love that. Like I just hear like 40s are better than 30s, 50s are better than 40s. And this is proof right here. Now, something that is just interwoven in everything you do, and I just want to give a little background on this too. It came up in conversation, but usually I look at like LinkedIn, right? Doing research and all that. I like popped into your Instagram this morning and you had shared this hospitality book that is kind of like your ethos and everything you do. Tell me about this book and how it impacts your work.
I mean, I love the restaurant industry, the hospitality industry for so many reasons. I love it because that's where you bring people that you love. You can sit there, have conversations, eat a good meal. You feel something there. And it started growing more and more with me, even with having an events background or doing these award shows or these judging where we're taking people away. That is hospitality. You're giving people amazing experiences. And my personal trips, I go to Napa a few times a year and I love to bring different people there and take them to different wineries or show them different experiences that they would never even think of. Me seeing that smile on your face and having that experience is all I need. So I started looking more into the restaurant industry, and Danny Meyer is just the best at hospitality, the way he treats his people, the way that they treat their customers that come in. And if you look at our Clio team, a lot of people, my head of marketing has been with me for over 15 years, other people 8 to 10 years. And every client that I talk to, they're like, oh my God, your people are so lovely. And they will go out and help you and do anything for you. And that's that family vibe. And that's saying, hey, we're here to help. Like, again, when I became CEO, I still go bring people coffee or I'm going to do something. And I remember an executive assistant or someone saying, oh, you can't do that. I go, yes, I can. Why couldn't I do that? That's ridiculous. So it is about giving people that great feeling and making them feel at home and happy and having a great experience. And his book has all these little details in about that and how he did that. And I just, picking the right people. It's hard to hire the right people. This is not something you can teach. It has to be in you. Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal. I do hire a lot of people from Jersey. So, because they great work ethic, want to get things done, want to make sure it's right, but also good people that want to make sure you're okay and doing okay. So we do judging. Our main Clio judging we take around the world. This March, we're going to be in Dubai. And we have 130 something jury members coming, crossing over. We have 2 days of conversations and fun experiences like going into the desert. So you want them to feel something besides judging. They're coming together to network. They're coming to see who Clio is. And we're also bringing people from the region in now to see us. So that is hospitality. So that's what I do. And my dream in the future will be that.
Yeah. I believe it. So you bring these judges together and you make it an experience in itself. And I'm assuming that translates into like a certain brand loyalty. Yes, like they'll want to share this experience.
They become family.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a family business. That's what I know.
Yeah.
And so you become family and really close with them. Most of my friends are from this industry after 15 years, So and everyone that we have that works for us is that type of person. It's interesting.
That's fascinating. And what an attention to detail, like customer service. I feel like do you feel like that's kind of getting lost in translation in the marketing world? Like everyone's like so focused on like numbers and all that. It's just very rare to hear a brand talk about like that customer service element.
I think it's interesting. I feel like we're actually getting better in the US with it. Maybe not in every instance, but a lot of the big brands focusing on creativity internally all over the company, I think is so important, and their people. Mm-hmm. So you're I do see that a lot more, which is wonderful. International, I think a little differently. Yeah. I think they're still learning that. And that's why we love to be international and talk to the client side and everyone. Do I see it in other instances and even outside of our industry? It depends on the place and the leader. It's all about the leader. And that shows you how you come, not that I'm never going to name names. Maybe if someone pays me, I'm kidding. But when we were in the bigger company, we had a lot of different CEOs, and that made a difference of how everyone acted. We should have all worked together as brands. That was my excitement. Yeah. I'm like, let's partner and let's do things. And it never happened because it never came from above. I still worked with everyone and maneuvered again my way around. But if it doesn't come from above, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're so right. And for our readers, what is the name of the hospitality book by Danny Meyer?
Setting the Table by Danny Meyer.
Love it. That's great. I feel I need to go pick that book up. That's fantastic. Now, you've learned a lot of lessons in your career. You were very open about your experience prior to the Clios. What's something else that you wish you knew at the beginning of your journey?
I don't know if I wish I knew it at the beginning besides learning it, because I do come from a loud Italian family and People think we're yelling at each other, but we're talking. But also, you know, I fathered my father and a lot of male bosses that I've had, and they came off very strong and people would be scared of them. And when I started, that's how I was, because I thought I was supposed to be the man running the business.
Yep.
And as time went on, and especially getting before and during COVID, I learned more about empathy and how to change. And I had support internally. My head of marketing, who's been again with me, Brooke Levy, for 15 years, she would stop me and be like, yeah, I don't think you should talk that way or do that. Like when no one was around. And I would appreciate that. I'm like, okay, thank you. And it was really learning how to be better than just making people, you didn't think you were doing it, but you made people scared of you.
Yeah.
And it was something I grew up with, the way we speak and different things. So now I'm not a yeller, I'm proud to say. And, you know, I treat things in a different way. I'm more relaxed or more calm when I'm speaking to someone, even if it's something that I don't like. It doesn't work to, you know, fight or yell or do something with someone. It's better to communicate in a lighter toned way, I feel.
So, but what is the balance there, right? Because like, and I'm asking probably like personal reasons, like how do you balance kind of, you know, being that empathetic leader, but also being firm and like getting shit done, you know?
Because you could do it in a way like I had a meeting with a group the other day and I was not happy with what was going on. And I let them know this is not the way it should go. You guys should feel that. I shouldn't have to tell you, but I'm telling you, things happen. I understand that. And I expect when we get back from whatever that we sit down and really discuss it and make it better. So I said it in a way where I wasn't angry at them and I didn't make them think that it's the end of the world, because unless you're a doctor and saving people's lives, it's not the end of the world, you know? So I wanted to make sure that they knew that there was something wrong and they need to change it. And if they didn't change it, I will change it. But I'm still there for you and we have to make this work better together. And I'm here to support it. So it's just, you know, in the day, I probably would have yelled and been like, okay, get out of my office. You know, and that's like my 20s and early 30s. And, you know,
throws a notebook.
Yeah. I'm just like, just get out. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I feel, yeah.
Yeah.
Feel
you know, and you try to put, you know, one thing my father did always teach me, and he, you know, ran a family business with my uncle, to also always laughter in things, even if it's a tough situation and you guys don't agree afterwards, you have to come back to like finding something funny or, you know, laughing about something together. So I try to do that a lot.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You were such a boss. I would love to hear your perspective. You're at the forefront of culture, right? You're celebrating the best of the best in multiple categories. What's something that you're like keeping your eye on this year? Is there something that you think is going to emerge? Like, creators are going to keep evolving and things like that?
I do think creators are going to keep evolving. And I know everyone's talking about AI, which I think is a helpful tool. I still don't believe it's going to take over the world, unless we allow it to.
Right.
So I think those are the two things we see being spoken about all the time. We do a thought leadership program. We're doing it this September here in New York with all of our verticals coming together. And it is about culture and bringing in music and sports and all of these things tied around all of those things. So we're going to have creators. We're going to talk about AI in different ways with culture, you know? So, right now that's what I see mostly. And I think actually the third thing, experiences. And I know it's my love, but because of all of this technology, people need to be together. That's how you learn. That's how you feel connected. And experiences, whether it's going to a conference, whether it's going to a private dinner and having those connections, going to judging, going to an award show or gala, you know, people want those and need those. And a lot of people aren't working in offices today, so they don't understand that interaction. I think that's so important. So the more that we go AI or go to, you know, content online and stuff like that, we also need the experience side and being in person together.
Yeah. And do you think that's kind of, you're not the first person I hear say this. And do you think it's like kind of since the pandemic, like now we're ready again, like we just want to experience I know the younger generations do, you know, but is that what it is you think?
I think so. I mean, me, like a year after it, I was ready to go out and I went to Napa right away. I was like, I got to go to a wine tasting. What's happening here? But I do think that I think people are ready, and I think they see what's happening when they don't, and what's happening to people in work. You don't, you're not on the same page. There's no great atmosphere together. You're not connecting in the right way. And I think after time of people not in offices or doing certain things, you're starting to see that, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. What are the brands that you think are getting it right? Like experiences and also just in general and how they're carrying themselves?
I think Pinterest is doing a great job.
I love Pinterest.
I love what they do with their pop-ups and stuff. I think it's really smart. My friend Xanthi, she's CCO over there, and she's just awesome. But like all their pop-ups, they've done salon dinners with us. We do these Clio salon dinners with only 30 executives and usually a celebrity, like from the music side. Like we've done Common, Wyclef, Michael Strahan, Conscience Schwartz, some great names, Lin-Manuel Miranda. And it's like coming together in those small ways. And those are the brands that want to do stuff like that. Mondelez, same thing. Google, we've been doing a lot of cool stuff with.
We had Xanthi on the podcast too, and that was like really great.
She's just awesome human.
Yeah.
And that I think is important. You can be great at your job, but you have to be a good human.
Yes, for sure. It's interesting to me, like Pinterest is, let's give them their flowers for a second, right? They're like this tech platform and all that. But to your point, they do bring these experiences to life. And how can we forget about Pinterest Beach?
Love it.
I didn't get to go last year, and I am going in a day early this year. I'm like, I am hitting up everything I didn't get to see.
It's perfect for creatives, actually, for Cannes, because they have all these different areas where you can do different things. And it's so smart. It's actually like a workshop in a sense. You're doing something instead of just listening to somebody.
Yes.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and I'm going to be completely honest, it's people talking at you instead of you doing things with them. And I'm not so into that all the time.
Yeah. No. We do a lot of talking throughout the year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious to hear, before we get to our last question. So you're all about the experience, right? You have this really strong belief in hospitality. What is a good experience for you? Like, when was the last time you had?
You mean that for me?
Yeah. Like, how do you define a good experience? Like, when was the last time you were like blown away? That
I wasn't doing the experience, right? Okay, that's hard.
You're like, I put on excellent things.
No, it's funny because usually it's me. Like I had people over last night for dinner, great experience. And someone said that to me, you're a great host and you're great with everything that you do.
Yeah.
And the one for me,
God, I love that you also throw great experiences on a personal level.
Yes, personally, you have to. I love it. I'll say some events that I thought, besides the Pinterest Beach, I thought was great. The Tony Awards. Oh my God. Their event, their after party, they've done it at the Plaza. And this was years ago though. This was before COVID. Mm-hmm. So, but the experience that I had going through all the different rooms with all the different music and the different foods and all the different people just blew my mind, and in such an elegant, beautiful place. But people were also having fun. You had a jazz band here. You had a classical over here. You had a pop band somewhere. Like every room was filled up with different experiences for you. There's one place, and this is so long ago, but I have to bring it up, when it was the Nomad Hotel. Nomad Hotel did a Halloween party for a bunch of years. High price ticket. They took over the whole lobby, all the restaurants, and the first floor of the rooms. Mm-hmm. So when you came in, again, it was similar to that. Every room had different food in it, different bands, different entertainment. And then you go up to the first floor with the hotel rooms, and there was like Freddy Krueger and Jason. And then there was like a little girl dressed up with candy. And it just blew my mind, everything that you were experiencing in one place, in a sense. All you had to do was walk through. It's not anything that you had to do.
Yeah. And you were completely immersed. That's what I'm hearing.
Completely immersed in it. And then lastly, I would say going to a great hotel or something that has, where you have animals there and you're feeding them, you're doing an amazing dinner, a spa experience, stuff like that. So I've found a lot of great ones, and every time I go there, there's reasons why I can make it better.
Yeah, I love that. Hospitality is a big. Last night Leslie and I went to the Hilton event at the Waldorf and just kind of what they're doing.
Waldorf.
My God.
I'm excited to go there.
Yeah, it's really, but it's that attention to detail, and just kind of, and going with it.
Yeah. I mean, like going to a great restaurant, I was with Rob Riley, really great friend. Last week went to Cheche's, and it's his favorite restaurant, and the owner's there. He has a book, read his book as well. And he was a maitre d' and became famous and created this amazing atmosphere in this restaurant. The food, the menu is so different, like these ribs with some kind of sauce on it. I mean, it was amazing. And he comes over to the table and he makes you feel special, whether he knows you or not. That is important.
Yeah.
So even like for me, a CEO or my heads of the verticals, for them to go up to people and say, hey, how you doing? Wherever they are at another event, our event is so important to do and make people feel special. So like that is really important.
I love that. Super Bowl, are you having a party?
No, we do have a possible event there, which I can't talk about yet, with a partner. But I'm like, I don't want to go right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And we have Clio Music coming up next week, the Thursday before Grammy. So we'll do it during Grammy week, which is great. Okay. And then it's Super Bowl. It's like one thing after another, which is fun and amazing. But we haven't had an event there yet. People do ask us a lot.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to figure that out. And if we could bring Super Clio there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And get the brands and agencies judging live.
Yeah. No, that would be, that's what I envision.
Come on, Doritos. Come sponsor us.
Listen, CC Doritos.
Chris Bellinger, love you.
Right? I was just going to say, Chris,
love him. He's on the jury this year. Yeah. I will talk to him for next year.
I have complete faith that you can make something happen. So, Nicole, on this show, we like to conclude the episodes with asking about rising stars. And this is to celebrate our new award called Campaign Spark. And it's celebrating emerging talent in the ad industry up to 5 years experience. It's not limited to age or anything. So that's coming up. Shameless plug. But this question is in honor of that. Who is a rising star in the industry? And it could be a person or a brand, that you have your eyes on and you're like, they get it. They are onto something. They are going to keep climbing.
So I go back and forth with this because I can say people and brands, but I feel like they're there already, like Pinterest we're talking about with Xanthi stepping in and all of that. I feel Luis Sanchez at now Kimberly Clark, another one who's wonderful, came from the agency side and now already winning awards. I think he's been there 5 seconds. Seeing him tonight also. And there was somebody else but I do think also besides people, it's the brand world that's growing and doing more and getting creativity in them. And they're the rising stars because they're doing more and getting more involved with everything, with their agencies, with creativity, with awards. They want to be out there more. They want to understand that. So in a sense, when I started 15 years ago, brands did not come to the award shows. They were not invested in it. They did not talk about creativity. Now they have in-house agencies. Yep. Now, even if they don't, they're still working with agencies, but they're also, all around. How is creative effectiveness is very, very important. It's not just about the effectiveness, but creative effectiveness. So I feel like they're growing and learning and rising to that. And it's awesome to see because they're so excited to judge. They're so excited to talk about it. They're so excited to get more involved. So besides people, I would say the client side, brand side is rising more and more. Like
the marketing team's brand side and all that.
But it is throughout the company. Like to see a CEO, I always say that because yes, marketing, you should be creative. Maybe they weren't at the time and now they are, but also a CEO, you have to be creative if you want to build things and grow your business. It's about the numbers, but how do you get to those numbers? You have to be creative.
Yeah, for sure. Great answer. Now I feel like all the brand leaders are just going to be applauding you. But thank you so much, Nicole. I feel that you just had so much good advice and thank you again for your honesty and humility and we're cheering for you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.